The compass of balance in life. As I imagined my life as a compass, I saw north or true north as my spiritual wellness, defined as always looking toward Allah. My father noted that just as the compass needle looks toward true north, the heart of the believer is always seeking closeness to Allah. I imagined how my 5 daily prayers connected me to Allah, how reading the sacred texts of Revelations provided direction, and how every now and then, as I did on this day, I made outer journeys into the prayer understandings. As I began to reflect on the balance between my spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional wellness throughout my life, I felt that for each of these would have not been possible nor stable if they were not balanced, had too much or too little sway, and traveled in the same general direction as to what it took to find stability. Without spirituality, life lacks purpose, like a traveler without a map. Without physical health, the journey becomes difficult as weakness slows progress. Without mental growth, ignorance leads to confusion and poor decisions. Without emotional balance, anxiety, anger, and instability take over. I opened my eyes and looked around at the village. I saw my mother cooking, my father working in the fields, my brothers playing, and my neighbors going about their day. I realized that everyone was navigating their own journey, trying to keep their compass aligned, even if they didn't think about it. I thought about my own life and wondered which direction of my compass might need extra attention. I could spend a little more time in prayer and reflection to strengthen my spiritual direction, or be more patient with my younger brother to improve my emotional stability. I stood up, feeling energized by these thoughts, and decided that from now on, I would try to ensure my compass was well aligned every day. I would do something to strengthen each direction, even if it were something small. As I walked home, I now understood that living a good life was not only about one thing, it was about maintaining balance in all directions. It was about making sure my compass always pointed toward the divine so that I could navigate through life's challenges with clarity. I thought about how I could share this idea with my friends. We could work together to strengthen our internal compasses, supporting each other and growing together. I smiled and waited patiently for what was to come. That night, before bed, I took out my journal to keep track of what I was doing daily to align my compass. I wrote down my plan. For my spiritual direction, I would read 1 page of sacred text each night and reflect on its meaning. For my physical direction, I would help my mother carry water from the well, seeing it as a form of exercise. For my mental direction, I would ask my teacher a new question every day at school. For my emotional direction, I would make at least one person smile every day. As the days passed, I became more aware of how I aligned my compass. I noticed that on days when I neglected one direction, I felt a little lost. But on days when I ensured balance in all 4 directions, I felt confident, focused, and at peace. I started to share this idea with my friends at school. At first, some of them found it a bit strange to think of their lives as a compass. However, as I explained and shared examples from my own life, they became interested. Soon, they were all talking about how they could strengthen their own internal compasses. One afternoon, Mr. Abbas came upon me and my friends discussing our compass of life. He took an interest and shared his own experience and knowledge on the subject matter with us. It was from Mr. Abbas that we better understood how the principle applies to all facets of life, enhancing holistic health and wellness, psychological and emotional resilience, personal development, therapy, and human relationships. According to Mr. Abbas, failing to take care of one's physical health will eventually drain one's mental and emotional health. Just as failing to feed the spirit can lead to feelings of anxiety or incompleteness. He also explained that someone experiencing stress can benefit from physical exercise for the physical body, mindfulness practices for the mental body, emotional expression for the emotional body, and spiritual reflection for the spiritual body to restore balance. Mr. Abbas went further by saying self-evaluation, brought about by the balancing compass of life, can lead to life choices that are more in line with one's desired balance, such as keeping self-care routines for one's physical body or engaging in community service for one's spiritual body. He sounded convincing when he declared that recognizing that everyone in a community or family has their own set of experiences across these four areas fosters empathy and understanding in interpersonal interactions. As I walked home that evening, I reflected on all that Mr. Abbas had shared. His wisdom had deepened my understanding of the compass analogy my father had first taught me. I realized that this balance wasn't just about personal well-being, it was about being a better member of my family and community. The next day, I noticed my friend Amina seemed upset during class. Instead of ignoring her distress or becoming impatient with her mood, I remembered the emotional direction of my compass. I took a moment to ask if she was okay, offering a listening ear. She shared that her grandmother was ill and she was worried. That simple act of compassion seemed to lighten her burden, and I felt my own heart grow lighter too.